There is the story the public sees, and then there is the reality that unfolds in private. Most have only witnessed the composed, poised version of Savannah Guthrie, a woman holding herself together during the most painful crisis of her life. Cameras capture her carefully measured statements, her calm words, her dignified appearance, and people call it strength. But what lies beneath is far more complex. The tragedy is layered, running in multiple directions simultaneously. Understanding it requires looking past the headlines and public performances to the full weight of what is truly happening to a 54-year-old woman confronting unimaginable fear. The surface, tragedy. On February 1st, 2026, everything changed for Savannah. Her mother, 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, was taken from her home against her will. Authorities confirmed the abduction publicly, and the word kidnapping became attached to a woman millions only knew as someone's mother. From that moment, Savannah's life split into two tracks. One public, where composure and control were essential, and one private, where fear, uncertainty, and grief consumed her. The public saw calm statements. The private held unrelenting dread. The physical danger to Nancy was immediate, yet the public only saw the surface. The real tragedy had already begun, unseen by millions who admired Savannah's strength. The urgency of time. The physical stakes are terrifying. Nancy, 84, depends on heart medication to survive. Every hour without it increases the risk to her life. A countdown that no one could slow. Savannah understood this from the moment she learned of her mother's disappearance. While delivering statements with composure and dignity, she carried the knowledge that her mother's body faced life-threatening stress with each passing hour. Most people confronted with such facts would collapse under the weight of fear and helplessness. Savannah, however, continued to function publicly, a testament not only to strength, but also to the relentless pressure she had internalized over decades of expectation. Prepared by a lifetime of expectation, the second layer of tragedy lies in how Savannah's ability to function was shaped. She did not face this crisis as a blank slate. Her mother raised her after her father's death with a philosophy: weakness is punished, vulnerability is dangerous, and pain must be managed through action, not expression. Savannah absorbed this so completely that by adulthood, it had become instinct. She had been trained to perform under pressure, to project calm and competence, even when fear and uncertainty consumed her internally. Her public strength was never just a choice. It was the culmination of 54 years of learned behavior, devotion, and survival under relentless expectation. The cost of performance. What the public admires as heroism comes at a private cost. Every calm statement Savannah made, every composed appearance, was a performance forged from necessity. The tragedy is not only her mother's disappearance, but the fact that Savannah had no other way to survive this ordeal. Strength had been wired into her identity so deeply that vulnerability was almost inconceivable. The world applauds her for maintaining composure, but that composure masks the depth of fear, grief, and longing she feels internally. Every second she holds herself together publicly, she pays a personal price that no audience can perceive or appreciate fully. The hidden emotional layer. Beyond fear and performance lies a subtler, deeper tragedy. Nancy Guthrie's love, while real and fierce, was expressed primarily through expectation and discipline. Savannah learned early that love came with performance. that strength was proof of worth and vulnerability was dangerous. Over decades, this instilled a profound hunger in her that achievements, accolades, or public admiration could not satisfy. It is the hunger for unconditional acknowledgement, the desire to hear that she is enough for the person whose opinion mattered most. In crisis, that longing intensifies. The woman millions see as resilient is still searching for the validation only her mother can provide. The lifelong question. Since childhood, Savannah has asked a quiet internal question. Am I enough? Not to co-workers, audiences, or friends, but to her mother, the person whose love set the standard. Professional success cannot answer it. Public admiration cannot satisfy it. Even at 54, in the worst crisis imaginable, that question remains. She carries the weight of 54 years of striving, proving, performing, and holding herself together. The tragedy is not in her failure, there is none. The tragedy is that she has been trained to survive by performance alone, and the one person who could reassure her unconditionally is absent at the moment she needs it most. The role of training and expectation. Tom Brokaw once said that if Nancy came home safely, someone should help her understand the reality of her daughter's endurance. Savannah's composure is not invincibility, it is learned survival. Her mother's philosophy instilled the habit of performing under pressure, of masking fear, of substituting achievement for reassurance. That upbringing, while loving in intention, left Savannah unaccustomed to receiving affirmation unlinked from accomplishment. The greatest gift Nancy could give her now is not guidance or advice, but simple, unconditional words, the affirmation of love without expectation, the acknowledgement that she is enough exactly as she is. The deepest layer, the deepest tragedy is silent and personal. It is the absence of the one person whose love could resolve decades of internal questioning. Savannah has spent her life performing, striving, and holding herself together. Millions admire her strength publicly, but the person she longs to hear it from most, the woman who shaped her existence, is missing. That absence magnifies every other layer of fear, grief, and stress. The public sees only the outward expression of courage. The private reality is a daughter yearning for simple reassurance, for a message she has waited 54 years to hear unambiguously, that she is enough. The promise of love. When Nancy walks back through her door, the most important gift will not be guidance, reassurance, or strategy. It will be 3 simple words, words that do not demand strength, composure, or performance. Words that affirm identity, love, and worth beyond achievement. I love you. Not for what Savannah has done, how she has performed, or what she has achieved, but simply for who she is. Those words have the power to soothe decades of internalized pressure, to allow a lifetime of searching for validation to finally rest, and to remind her that love is not earned. It is given freely, unconditionally. Conclusion: the real tragedy, the tragedy of Savannah Guthrie, at 54 is layered and profound. It is not only her mother's disappearance or the life-threatening urgency that accompanies it. It is the culmination of decades of training to perform, the internalized question of worth, and the absence of the one person whose affirmation could finally grant peace. Her strength, admired by millions, is both a gift and a burden. The ultimate resolution lies not in public recognition or professional accomplishment, but in the simple return of love, the the words every human craves. You are enough.